This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Get a kick-ass website today. It's an amazing time when you get to watch a 4-hour version of a 2-hour movie you hated. Yes, no matter what you think of Zack Snyder and his films, mostly shit, it's rare we get to see such a big budget film completed by two different directors with the same actors, sets, and shots. By now you'd have to be living under a rock to not know the crazy story behind this film's release. Unhappy studio, Zack leaving the project to deal with a family tragedy, rumours the studio wanted him gone anyway, then bringing in Joss Whedon to finish the film by cutting it down and adding Marvel-esque humour. Then the film being released and, well, it was mostly hated, with good reason, and then the fans starting the whole Snyder Cut movement that got this whole ball rolling. It was fun times at the beginning of the release of the Snyder Cut movement. Plenty of laughs had at the Snyder fans' expense, questioning why anyone would want another version of this terrible film that was rumoured to be even longer.
Fucking assholes.
We'd seen Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. They were Zack's vision. How much punishment can we go through? Also, what were the chances of the Snyder Cut existing? And why would the studio care to release it if the Snyder Cut was good? They look like fools for going against Zack in the first place. Or if it turned out worse than the theatrical cut, they'd just be blowing a wad of cash. What we didn't know was, not only were the release of the Snyder Cut fans right about the Snyder Cut existing, Zack Snyder and the actors themselves also wanted to see it finished and released. And after watching it, I can see why they did. Some characters went from annoying to interesting, while others went from virtual non-existent roles to leads. But still, why would the studio get behind it? Well, thank the world shutting down virus for one. Yes, the studio's desperate for content, and streaming taking over from the cinemas because they're all closed. All happened at the perfect time for Zack to finish his dream. They even gave him a big suitcase full of cash to get it done.
I'm rich.
And soulless robots like me even started getting interested to see what would happen, because after my own severe disappointments in other franchises that had been very close to my heart, who were destroyed by directors who didn't care about the fans at all, I started wishing more directors were like Zack and how he saw his fans. So the biggest surprise is that the Snyder Cut is enjoyable for nearly the whole 4 hours, which to me is quite shocking. In preparation for watching the Snyder Cut, I watched the 2017 version the night before, as I'd blocked that film from my mind. And no, we won't blame the alcoholism for that. So after sitting through 2 hours of that torture...
Like brunch. Like, what is brunch?
It's not a shame.
Do you bleed?
I don't even understand the physics of how my toes hurt. I want to die.
I was expecting the Zack Snyder Cut to be the longest 4 hours of my life, obviously excluding the time I got lost in Tijuana. But it wasn't. The 4 hours wasn't a problem at all. It gave the film the space it needed to introduce us to each character. And surprisingly, instead of hating every character this time, I found I was starting to like them. Even Ben Affleck as Batman, which up to then, I hadn't been a fan of at all.
I agree.
And as a huge bonus when watching the Snyder Cut, I actually understood the story this time. And I understood why characters were making certain decisions. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's well written. It's okay.
As Darkseid waged war on Earth, he found a secret there. A power hidden in the infinity of space.
Can it be true that you have found it? I have, Great One. The lost world is Earth. Anti-life is here.
Is that Darkseid's version of forgetting where he parked the car? How did he forget where Earth was? And I'm never going to be that interested in the evil devil space villain whose only motivation is killing everyone because he's the evil devil space villain.
And bask in the glow of anti-life, and all of existence shall be mine.
They are never going to be as interesting as Thanos. He was a surprise to me too. But at least with the Snyder Cut, there was some personality with the bad guys.
You still owe the Great One 50,000 more worlds. He will hear your plea when you pay your debt.
So Justice League went from a poorly structured, boring, wisecracking action shit show to an interesting, well-structured film with good action and heart. And most of all, it was now fun to watch.
Show him your fear! We have no fear!
So from the very start, it was far superior. No stupid top-lip fix, anti-mustachioed Superman. Right from the get-go, there was a coherent story opening up. There was a good dramatic reason for the mother boxes to come to life that obviously connected straight with the previous film. No stupid added scene of Batman already knowing about the bug demons, which at the time confused the fuck out of me. I thought I'd missed something in the other films that had set this up. No, I should have just known. It was just really bad writing. Surprisingly, in the Snyder Cut, every scene was better, and not just for the nice colour grading. I thought the 4-hour run would mostly be adding back scenes to the film we had already experienced with the Whedon cut, with some re-editing. Even the same scenes were replaced with the original superior versions, which surprised the hell out of me, because how much money did Whedon waste reshooting those? And this could either be the drinks talking or the fact that I had my expectations set so bloody low. But not long in, I found myself actually starting to enjoy this film. But luckily, Zack is never too far away to remind me who's in charge. Diana's just going to grab him. Holy fuck! And you could cut an hour off the Snyder Cut just by pulling back on the excessive use of slow motion. Showing the Flash in slow-mo, obviously good. Shell casing leaving gun, who cares? Someone should tell Zack, if you have a main character who you need to show in slow motion, you will already have too much slow-mo for one film, so don't add any more.
I can't maintain this! Victor!
I've always liked the Amazonian scenes. I don't know why. Everything up to this point in the movie had already been improved from the 2017 version, but Steppenwolf's invasion of Diana's homeworld in the Snyder Cut really showed how much better the Snyder Cut was going to be. Watching the Whedon version was a flat, sad experience.
Oh, I think I will.
Queen Hippitatus, Hippitiatus, Hippo, Hippitiatus. Queen Hippo's plan and leadership made her look inept, and she seemed to be ready to sacrifice people way too easily.
See you later, guys!
Why not just take out the pillars once she's through, or at least close? And Steppenwolf looked way too unstoppable just busting through that wall. But in the new version, we get an exciting scene full of tension with a caring leader who knows what has to be done, and the sacrifice Queenie had to make was played as huge. I did like that building falling into the sea, so when Steppenwolf pops out of the sea, there was a great feeling of, what the fuck do they do now? Not, well, that plan didn't achieve anything. Even in the chase, we are given room to breathe, which is my biggest problem with so many new films. The emotion is sucked out because we just run from scene to scene. We can't invest in anything. This time we have those little moments that let us connect to the characters, and that is why the whole film is better. We have the time to get to know the characters and invest in their story, instead of only having their bitchy snipes at each other to judge them on.
I was running the numbers while you were being an asshole.
Christ, the Whedon version felt like it was written by a collection of idiots from Twitter who thought being a bitch made you look tough and likable, which is probably why I enjoyed watching the Whedon version as much as I like going on Twitter.
Or maybe you don't want to.
A super quick break to thank today's sponsor, Squarespace. Wanting to get your business on the move, but it feels like every day has some new surprise? Feeling like things are holding you back? Feeling like you can't even go outside? Well, don't let that stop you. All you need is the perfect website, and that's where Squarespace come to the rescue. Squarespace will give you the ultimate freedom to express yourself, create a community, and grow your business. Don't waste your time learning code or paying expensive designers. Those bastards. Have complete control and do it yourself with Squarespace. Squarespace will not only help you look amazing and professional with galleries, portfolios, and video blocks. Look how good it makes me look. They will also help you grow your fan base or customers with their email marketing tools, as well as the amazing new members only feature where you can monetize your content on your own website. Go to squarespace.com to start your free trial, and when you are ready to take off, go to squarespace.com/robothead, use the code robothead, and you will receive a full 10% off your first purchase. Sign up to Squarespace today, and you'll be ready to take on that world.
You really are out of your mind.
I'm not the one who brought a pitchfork.
Whedon's Ben Affleck felt like a strap-on Batman just playing it as a cliche.
Thank you.
And his magical modulated voice would be ridiculous in a fan film.
Don't talk, don't fight. Get in, get one out.
Aquaman just seemed thick and not in that way. And for some reason he was a thief. And Wonder Woman just seemed bored and was just there to sprout exposition and be the focus of some very, well, Joss Whedon type jokes. Everyone laughed at the idea of Joss Whedon writing jokes. Well, no one's laughing now. Yes, thank you. The three of them just seemed annoyed by each other. Now, I don't want to hang around people who annoy each other, and I don't want to hang around people who annoy me. But the Snyder Cut, and I'm still trying to get used to this idea being in my head, with the Snyder version, I like these characters. Even Batman, which has killed one of my greatest joys, laughing at Ben Affleck playing Batman. Now what am I supposed to do? I suppose on the bright side, I still have Batman v Superman to laugh at.
Why did you say that name?
Now, liking these three characters is one thing, but liking The Flash, that I thought impossible. I'd like The Last Jedi before that would happen, but I was wrong. Yes, not about The Last Jedi. That film is the afterbirth of a demon inbred beast that shed its own brain out. No, I was wrong about The Flash. He could be liked if he wasn't written by Joss Whedon, who decided to make him annoying and useless.
Yeah, I've never done battle. I've just pushed some people and run away.
Oh, I really dislike The Flash in the theatrical cut. Every scene was like running a cheese grater across my ballsack. Sadly, as they never attached my body's ballsack to my robot head, I'm just guessing that's what it feels like. But Zack's Flash is very competent and very likable. His introduction where he saves the girl is the most superhero thing we've seen in a long time. The gentle finger smashing the glass was wonderful. Instantly you felt he was very in control of his power. Super romantic, even a little bit of humour that actually turned out to be part of his plan. It reminded me a lot of Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent. The way he was hiding his power behind a bumbling fool persona and pretending to miss all the action that had just happened. I really like that scene.
Oh gosh, I hope everyone's okay.
This introduction scene of The Flash completely turned me around on the guy. But what completely confuses me, and I would love to hear an explanation, is how did this scene get cut? Not only this scene, but most of Zack's film. If the studio didn't want a 4-hour movie, or 2 2-hour movies, like so many other franchises have already done, why do they bother filming new scenes and refilming some of the same scenes? Now, cutting Zack Snyder's film down to 2 hours would be a mistake, and like the Whedon cut, it could just end up action on action with the heart ripped out. But after seeing what was ditched, it seems outrageous they decided to film more scenes and different versions.
Yeah.
This is what you choose to add?
You won't let me die.
The studio and Joss Whedon's egos must have exploded all over the place once Snyder left, if they thought adding all this was a good idea.
You say a word about this, we'll meet every prawn I know.
The only other character that could probably outdo Flash for a bigger turnaround is Cyborg. The only difference being there wasn't enough of Cyborg in the Whedon cut to dislike him. I felt nothing for him. All he seemed to do was lurk around and whinge. Again, nothing to latch onto and like. Where Zack's version of Cyborg is all dark RoboCop pain and sorrow. And I fucking love RoboCop, as you might have guessed. The pain, anger and sorrow RoboCop goes through is amplified by the fact that people did this to him for self-serving reasons and that he would have been better off dead. Sort of like choosing to be a YouTuber. Having in this film the father doing the same thing, but it's to his son, adds another deeper level. But the Whedon version didn't give me any of that. That whole story was thrown out and replaced with ungrateful son whose father saved his life. Not selfish dad turns son into science experiment machine who will never be human again. I'd watch a whole film on that. Hashtag release the Cyborg RoboCop cut.
I'd buy that for $1.
Now, all that goodwill and enjoyment I was having came to an abrupt halt when the epilogue started. I thought I'd made it through the 4 hours just fine. The running times seemed justified. Not so the epilogue. That on its own felt longer than the fucking movie. I nearly started to cry. I was quickly reminded why I don't like most Zack Snyder films. Well, except this one. All the things I hate about his films, this scene jammed back into my face. Stop trying to convince me this performance is good. It's just shit. Somehow, he now just looks more Mongo. And really, why the fuck is this group working together? Please, don't tell me. I don't care. Oh no, it's a fucking dream sequence. Please, for fuck's sake, just finish the movie. No, I don't want a new character introduced to skinny Ben Affleck.
And some have called me
So has all the fuss made over the Zack Snyder cut been worth it? I'm surprised to say, definitely. It's a much better movie in every way. But I'd be very interested to know if it would have turned out the same if it was finished for its original release by Zack back in 2017. Would he have made the same choices? Or would he have made a mess of cutting it down and finishing it for release? The other films didn't turn out so good when he had to finish them under pressure. Maybe with everything that has happened, and the years he's had to think about this film and how it should be edited and finished, have made him a better filmmaker, which would be a good thing. Who wouldn't want that? And to leave the film feeling good about Zack and his future films, make sure you stop the film here, where it should have finished, because that newly shot tacked on epilogue is like finishing a beautiful expensive meal with a bowl of shit for dessert. It makes you wish you'd stopped at the main meal. It doesn't leave the nicest taste in the mouth.